And hello, I hope this is working. Can y'all hear me?
Hey,
Can y'all see me?
everybody.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, Ruel. Hi, chat. How's it
Hello,
going,
chat.
everybody?
Wow. I'm hoping this is working. Good morning,
We're getting
Corthane
some good
says, and
mornings. Good morning. Good
IT
afternoon.
Hernandez. Omar is here. Thank
Yep.
you, Omar. Good to see
Yeah, it's
y'all.
good
Heroic
afternoon for me
Logic,
too,
Goblin
Omar.
81. Wow, sounds good, it says. I am I'm pleasantly surprised.
Hey, that's what happens when you start your day off with a delicious cup of perk coffee, isn't it, Ruel?
That's exactly right. So perfect. I love it. First time chatter, Chainsaw Murphy. Yo, what is up, Chainsaw Murphy? What a great username, Chainsaw Murphy.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I wouldn't want to meet you in a back alley. I would want you to have my back in a back alley.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, against the
Uh,
zombie horde.
yeah, as Goblin says, wow, everything is working. Is this the apocalypse? Yeah, it probably is. The
It's
zombies will
the
be
end
out in
times,
full force.
Goblin. It's
That
the
is
end
right.
times.
Folks, if you're joining us for the first time, this is the pre-show to the R&R&R Show. I'm Ruel Gaviola, joined by my co-host, Chris George from Room and Aboard, and Richard will be joining us via the magic of video real soon here.
hmm
And what we do first is we get to hang out with you all, do some fun stuff, and then we actually record the show live here on Twitch, and then that ports over to YouTube. So we'll get that started in just a bit, but we're here to hang out and have a good time. I see you've got a new shirt on, Chris. I just noticed it right now. What is your
Do
shirt
you like
says?
this shirt?
Yeah,
You're creeping.
you're
In
creeping.
case you're creeping out there, creeping in the book. This is actually, I mean, 10 points to anybody who knows this reference. This is from I'm a huge Survivor fan. And so this is from Australian Survivor. There's a
Oh,
contestant, Australian Survivor, like the Australian offshoot. They go for 50 days instead of the
oh,
39 days, which is now 26 days in the American version. And
wow.
a there's a guy, Luke Toki. He was always creeping in the bushes, and so
Ah,
he made that his catchphrase. And then he made these shirts, and then he was selling the shirts. Also, was raising money for like autism research because
oh,
both of his
wow.
kids have autism. Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, well, A, you're an awesome player. I love you as a Survivor player. So
Uh,
fun, like a great personality.
yeah.
B, yes, I want a shirt that says creeping on it. And C, it goes to it went to a good cause. And it's one
Nice.
of these sort of longer shirts as well, which is
Okay.
great. Like I love the t-shirts that are just like a little bit longer, super comfy.
Nice.
Bella Canvas is the type of t-shirt that it was. I've gone down the t-shirt rabbit hole many times to try
It
to
sounds like,
find
yeah.
like how to merch, so I could talk for hours. Yeah,
Nice.
so if you know it, it's from Survivor Australia. Luke Toki is the player. Great fun player.
Nice.
Also, pretty good spin-off of Survivor. Same with Survivor South Africa.
Oh,
Also a great
wow.
series.
There's so many survivors. I don't watch them anymore, but I know they've just done all kinds of offshoots and
Yeah,
spin-offs and whatnot. It's crazy. But
it's
are
a
you
it
still
is
are you
it
still
is the
like deep
best
into
game.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is the best game. And I
Nice.
will be on Survivor eventually.
That
And
was
I
my next question.
will
Yeah.
maybe win. I don't know. I think you know what? I think 20 seasons ago I could have won no problem
Yeah,
because
yeah.
they weren't casting people who were fans, but now the gameplay has evolved so much
Yeah.
that like people know the numbers, people know how to work it. It's just one big game of social deduction. That's all it
Right.
is right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, totally.
Which I think is why it's expanded for me, like
Hmm.
my love for it has only grown.
That's so cool. I
Yeah.
actually, do you watch Big Brother? That the show Big Brother?
I've watched a couple seasons. I'm not as avid as Survivor. Three days a week is a lot for me to commit to,
Yeah.
and I think that's what slows me down. But I'll like tune in occasionally.
Okay, yeah. So I watched a little bit of that show, but it turned
Yeah,
this
yeah.
last season. A friend, good friend of mine, his brother was on that show, and
No
yeah,
way.
so it was really interesting later on. I mean, he didn't win. He was, if anyone knows, it's Daniel. He was like I think the third or fourth guy off or something like that, but. It was interesting afterwards to hear his, the behind the scenes stories and stuff, which I won't
Yeah.
share here, of course. But uh, the one thing I can share is so Big Brother, you were literally locked into that house for months at
hmm
a time, and he
Yeah.
said that just mental health wise, like like CBS was really, I think it's CBS was really good about
Yeah.
providing resources for your mental health, like during, before, during, and after the shows, because they're very
Wow.
concerned about that, because you were seriously just cut off from the world for months at a time, and they
Yeah.
just let you out and like, oh, now you're famous. It's pretty bizarre.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Like, and even just because the atmosphere in the house can be grating. Like, I also know in Big Brother they'll deprive house guests of food like for certain weeks, right? They're like the
Yeah,
have-nots. You have the
yeah,
have and have-nots, but and so like it's just nice that after they do all of that mental harm to you, they repair it a little
yeah.
bit.
It's like we've screwed you up for life. Let's fix you a little bit
Yeah,
here.
we'll
And
fix you just a tiny bit. Yeah, which is nice. It's
as
nice,
long as the
right?
ratings are good, apparently. But
Yeah, then
um,
we can keep the mental health flowing. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. It was really interesting to hear. Like even before, like he was one of the nominees, right, to go on the show. But even before
Yeah,
that, he went through like extensive like mental health testing, physical health,
yeah,
like everything had to be on point. And then out of the so many that could pass that, then it's like, okay, now who's going to be on the show? And
right.
he was saying that throughout the show, they always had some kind of some kind of therapist or whatever on hand, like literally on call
Cool.
to
Wow, that's
take care of
awesome.
that. Yeah, it's pretty intense. But
Yeah.
anyways, we're not talking about reality TV here, folks. We're talking about board games, and we've got a really great show coming up today. We're gonna be taking our sharing our picks for who we thought should have won, or what games should have won for the Spiel des Jahres. And I want
Hmm.
to make sure I'm not a German speaker. I want to make sure, Chris, do you have any idea how to pronounce it? Is it Spiel des Jahres, like with a Y, or
I
Jahres
think
with a
that's
J?
it.
With a
Yeah, I think
Y,
it's with a
correct?
Y. Yeah,
Okay,
Spiel Des Jahres.
Spiel des Jahres.
That's how I would. That's what I how I would
Okay.
say. Somebody can phonetically drop it in the chat if they want.
That would be great. And then I don't know, because I know with French, like you drop certain letters at the end from pronunciation. Would we drop the S as well as it Spiel de Jahr, or is it Spiel de Jahres?
I would say Yaris.
Okay.
Yeah, and it would be like a soft one. You know,
Okay. Spiel de.
The German are known for their soft pronunciation, right? Schmetterling. That's butterfly in German. That's my favorite word in
Nice.
German.
Oh, yeah. So, okay. No letter dropping in
Yeah.
German. Thank you, Fidelia. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. And so, yeah, when we get to the show, I will do my best to pronounce it as well as I can for a
Hey,
German
whatever you
speaker.
pronounce it as, I'll pronounce it as, and then
Nice.
hopefully Richard will pronounce it as something different, and we can just make fun of him the whole time. Even if he's correct,
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Majority rules.
Yes. That's what you get for doing video, not live streaming. That
Yeah,
you get
exactly.
teased. So, Chris, so how's it going? We haven't seen each other in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Have you been doing anything for the board gaming World Series of Board Gaming lately, or is that just on back burner for now?
Yeah, I mean, always plugging away at World Series of Board Gaming, just trying to make sure we line up all of our special guests, which Ruel, you are one of them.
Yes,
Just
can't wait.
making sure to get those locked in, and we might have a couple people who we're working out the details to come as well, which isn't finalized yet, but that's almost all finalized.
Mhm.
I played a game of Arc Nova. That's in World Series of Board Gaming. I played that just
Oh,
this morning on BGA. My first. It's a great BGA implementation.
is it really?
Um,
Okay, I'll have to
yeah,
check that out. We're not.
yeah,
I just realized we're not. I don't think we're connected on BGA. We should totally connect on BGA and play some games.
yeah, definitely.
Turn-based games or
That'd be
whatever.
fun. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so did that, but yeah, for World Series, it's just lining up still like the last sort of advertising push that
mm,
that we've got to get lined up, figuring out where we can get the most eyes on it to make sure, because some people still don't really know about it, right?
right.
So if
Yeah.
everybody in the chat wants to go make a Facebook post in any Facebook group, say, hey,
Yeah.
go check out the World Series of Board Gaming, just I wouldn't stop you. I wouldn't stop you. That's all I'm saying. I wouldn't stop you. I would love that. You would make my
Nice.
day and make my travel next couple days a little bit easier, because I'd say,
There you
hey,
go.
listen, there's lots of people talking about it. I don't have to, because I'm leaving tomorrow to go to Nova Scotia as well. So we're
Oh,
gonna be
that's
driving for
right.
2 days. Yeah,
Your
I've been
big trip.
getting all my ducks in a row and like getting the board games together. I just filmed a video that'll go up on Room and Board about all the games that I'm picking, and
Oh,
man, was it stressful. It's
yeah.
so stressful picking games to go away.
It's like, well, I mean, how many are you taking? Well, people, be sure to check out the video. But are you taking just
Oh
like
yeah,
a
we'll talk
backpack
about it
full?
here.
Okay, are you taking just
I
like a backpack full, or are you taking like shelves full of games, or how's that work?
I've well, we're limited to car space, so at
Okay.
least there's that.
Yeah.
And then also because we're bringing our cat, we want to make sure to have like the back seats sort of open because one of us is going to sit back there with the cat and like
Yeah.
he's got his own little car seat and just make sure he's chilling.
Hmm.
So like limited in terms of that. So I limited myself to 2 bags. So one, like I've got a board game tables bag, which I got, my parents got me for Christmas one year. I love. It's like one
Yes.
of, when I made a video of like gifts to get gamers that already have tons of board games that aren't board games, a board game bag is really good. Like I always thought it was silly. I was like, I don't need this, but I
Yeah.
use it so often. It's just like so
Yeah.
great going because I go to a lot of people's houses to play games too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Those things are great.
so I've got that full, and then I got like sort of a Costco sized bag that's equivalent to that. Until
Nice.
I get another board game tables bag from I think Crafting Kingdoms, who I think has sponsored the
They have.
R&R show in the past with
Yeah.
their play mats. They also have some bags that look cool, and so
Yeah.
I've been talking to them, and I was like, hey, if you send me a bag, I'll do a comparison video for
There you
you.
go. Yes. Nice. So just
um,
based on that, I'm assuming you've got at least 2 dozen games going with you.
yeah, that's about
Okay.
right. About I think it was like 23 if I counted.
Nice.
Um,
Nice.
and so it's just so stressful because there's so many different factors that I need to consider, right? Like
Yeah.
I got to consider what Renee will play with me
Hmm.
because she's coming, and then we got to consider stuff for her family because we'll play with them. But then I also, the person who introduced me to board gaming lives in Nova Scotia. His name's Drew.
Oh.
Catan was my gateway game
Yeah.
way back in like, well, I mean, like I'd played board games before, but like I found Catan. He introduced me to Catan back in like 2012, and I was like,
Okay.
this is amazing. Board
Yeah.
games are what I must consume everything, and that started like the addiction and whatever. Um, and so he's going to be there, and I was like, okay, cool. So I know he's got like gamer tendencies. I was like, great, I want to introduce him and like expand his board gaming knowledge. So trying to curate for
Nice.
him, and then
Yeah.
also trying to curate for like members of the cast that I'm going to be in,
Yeah.
because I don't, like group games,
Right.
sort of larger social games that I can potentially play outside as well, uh,
Mm.
which, because we all of our, most of our rehearsals are going to take place outdoors. We're doing Shakespeare in a park, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, okay, what's like a lunchtime outside game? So can try to consider all those factors. Stressful. I still might
Yeah.
make some changes. I don't know.
I mean, you're going away. You're going to be gone for about 2 months. Is that right?
Yeah, I think 3 months. I'll be back like
3 months.
September. So
Okay.
June, July, August. Yeah, it's a long
Yeah.
contract. We'll
That's
still
yeah.
be
That's a
doing these R&R shows though, by the magic of internet. I wouldn't miss
yes.
them.
Absolutely. And so for 3 months, I mean, you're packing almost 2 dozen games or so, and in those 3 months, you're ready. And I know this is how like all of us who are really deep into the hobby, we think about
Yeah.
every single situation that could
Yeah.
possibly come up. And then for me, I've done the same thing when I've gone on vacation or whatever for like a week or two. Bring a bunch of games and then end up playing like one for like 20 times or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah. It's gonna be Skull. It's
Yeah.
gonna be Skull. Skull's gonna be the hit. I already know. I got Skull so recently. I've been wanting to get Skull forever.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't have a copy, and I got it so recently, um, that. But I found it at this place, this liquidation store. It's called Binge Bins. There's a
Oh.
chain called Crazy Bins, and basically it's all like Amazon returns. And so at the first day of the week,
Ooh.
everything's like $20, and then the
Uh-huh.
next day it's like 10, and then it's 8, and then it's 6, and then it goes down to $1 per item.
Oh.
You just grab a bunch of stuff, and you're like, okay, how many items? You pay this much. So I was
Wow.
in, yeah. So there's a really good one in London, Ontario, where I grew up, where my parents are, and so we
Uh-huh.
swung by there, and I got a copy of Acropolis there for $8.
Oh, nice.
Awesome find. Like the box was open, and I
Yeah.
just went through and I counted all the pieces. I was like, great, all the pieces are there, done. Like,
Oh,
super happy to add that to the collection.
yeah.
Also bringing that because that's potentially a really good outside game, because the
Definitely.
tiles, they're just tiles, they're not going to blow away, right?
Yeah.
And
Oh,
then
what a
so
deal.
this one, I saw the box for Skull completely open, nothing was in there, like
Uh,
completely empty because someone had opened it. All the coasters displayed out, but I was like, I see coasters there, I see coasters there. So I was like digging through this bin to get these coasters. I was like, yeah, $6 Skull for sure. So I got all the
Nice.
components, and I think I think the reason why they had sent it back is because it was a misprint. It's a misprint of Skull because it could only play 5. So in Skull, you have 4 coasters. There are 3 flowers and 1 skull, right? And so they all have a matching back, and you're putting them face down, and it's basically like Perudo or any sort of bluffing game where you're saying, I think I can flip over 3 coasters without revealing a skull, but you always have to flip over your own first.
Yeah.
And so in this, there were 5 green coasters and then 3 blue coasters in it. And I was like, I think this is the component count. I know it's the component because it just touches the top of the box. It's a good box to fit exactly what you need because it's the exact amount of space for the thickness of it. And then I was like looking through the components and I was like, oh, that's why. So that's why I got sent back. But I'm like, hey, I'll take a 5-player version of Skull for $6.
Seriously.
I'm very happy for that. And then my plan is to either get some like contact paper or like paint or whatever, probably contact paper so it's more uniform, and just like a standard color, and put it on the backs of the 3 blue and the 1 extra green, because there's still the 3 flowers in the skull. It would still work, but just wouldn't have like the art on the back, which is really nice. But
totally, problem solved just like that. Wow.
What I was thrilled with that find. And then I feel like Skull at All is also gonna be a great easy outdoor lunchtime game. Things aren't gonna blow away. I know that's gonna be the hit. That's gonna be the hit.
I was gonna say, of the games you've mentioned so far, I feel that one's gonna get played the most, just based on those games. I can see it like with your fellow cast members. That's just something that you all can pick up really easily for someone that's even never played games. It's an easy one to pick up.
Yeah, for sure. Cool. Actually, one of the games that I'm bringing is on my list for this. Yeah, it is. I was just checking my list. It's on my list for. Okay. But I think it should have won the Spiel Des Jahres.
Nice. All right, folks. So stick around, folks. We're going to be getting to that real soon. We're going to record the episode here. I want to say hi to Gen Chem and Linnaeus and Bing, all our friends coming in. Thank you for hanging out with us. Gen Chem says, packing 4 to 5 days stresses me out. I can't imagine 3 months. Yeah, it's a long time. I couldn't. Yeah.
Renee's pretty stressed out, I'll tell you. I'm more used to it because like it's just contract life. It's just the life of an actor. You got to go and whatever. But yeah, Renee doesn't want to leave, even though she's got family out there. She's like, what are we gonna bring?
3 months it's a big trip. Goblin, thank you for resubbing. Appreciate you, friend. That's very kind of you. Linnea says they got some games for cheap this weekend too. Got Stop Thief for $10 and La Granja for $15. Really?
Whoa!
That is that's a steal for $15.
La Granja for 15. That's so good.
Yeah,
I've never played it, but I think it looks really good.
Yeah,
I was contemplating that deluxe edition.
I was just gonna say, didn't they just come out with another crowdfunding thing recently? Not the deluxe, but it was like, I don't know if there's like a new expansion or something. I forget. I could have sworn I saw something.
I don't know. Yeah, if it's still ongoing and it hasn't finished, then I don't know about it, because I stay within the last week of crowdfunding. I'm only up to date on the last week. But otherwise I don't know. Or I would have missed it. But
cool.
I remember the deluxe one looked really good.
Yeah, I
almost pulled the trigger, and then I looked at what the non-deluxe one costs, and I was like, oh yeah, I could just buy that. Okay.
I was also ready to pull the trigger on that, but luckily my main gaming partner outside of my wife, my buddy Daryl, he backed it, so that means I'm gonna get to play his copy, and I can save a couple of bucks. Yeah.
That's always the best, right?
Exactly.
I may have pushed some of my friends in that direction on more than one occasion. I'll be like, but Zach, you already have the set, right? So that'll complete your set for Nemesis. You should get locked down. Like, if you don't, I'll get it. I'll get it, but like, it just would probably be better if it was living in your house, right?
Oh my god, Chris is using the Jedi mind tricks on his friends to get board games, folks.
I'm just practicing for Survivor.
Yeah, I got a couple of people in chat. The game that's out right now is El Burro, based on the La Granja cinematic universe. Oh, okay. So it's a game based in that universe. Got it.
And it's on GameFound right now. That's why I don't know of it. I'll know of it when it's in its last week. Then I'll take a look and read the rule book and that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, thank you, friends.
Lagrana Cinematic Universe. Yeah, that's the
That's
next
perfect.
that's the next wide sweeping movie series to
Yeah.
come.
Yeah.
Just, relaxed pastiche. I wonder if Under the Tuscan Sun probably falls into that universe in terms of movies that have already been produced.
Under the
Get
Tuscan
Diane
Sun.
Keaton to
I
come
love it.
back to film
Under the
the,
Tuscan
the, the
Sun.
crossover.
Yeah, coming soon at Disney Plus everywhere, everyone.
Yeah.
Granha Cinematic Universe. I love it. So friends, those of you who are here, y'all know the drill. We hang out here for a little bit, then we record the show. We also have channel points that you can redeem here, the Rahdo channel points. And if you redeem those, we do all kinds of cool stuff. We're going to redeem something from last week. Linnaeus Cabal requested a Ruel Ranks. So we're going to do a Ruel Ranks, Chris.
Let's do a Ruel Ranks. I'm excited. You better rank it.
I am going to rank it. And by the way, hi Seabass, first time via chatter. Thank you so much for that.
Hey,
so friends, if you go to the gaviolalibrary.rahdo.com, and I've got the browser open there, and that's going to list all the games that are in my collection. I currently have like 700 or 800 or something like that. And
that's quite a few.
Oh wait, here it is. 651 games right now. And we go to the end of the list for some of the newer stuff. And since I started the R&R show, like Richard has been really on me to rank all my games, because I started the show, I'd ranked like maybe 3 games, Chris, and he just thought that was ridiculous.
I don't rank my games either.
Oh, you don't? Okay, then we need to do. I think we're gonna have to add this to the show. We're gonna do a Ruel Ranks, and then eventually we're gonna have to add a Chris Ranks as well.
Yeah.
So let's rank these games. I'm gonna go to the end of my list. So look at all these games I've ranked so far. Thanks to Richard. Thanks to you all viewers for requesting these things.
Yeah.
Here's some of the newest stuff I have. I've got Books of Time, Nemalia, and let me get the little thing here. Folks in chat, if you see any games that you'd like to be ranked, let me know. Now, I haven't played all of these. A lot of these are still new to me. So I try to do my best as far as like adding them to my collection and stuff, but I'm not very good at this stuff. Yeah. So I don't know, Chris. Do you see anything you'd like to see me rank? And of course, you'll help along too.
Yeah, no, it's a little. I can't quite see because of my viewer.
Got it.
So it's. I wonder if I can make this. Yeah, I can't really make you larger on my screen. So
I could bump this up.
So I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it to the chat to decide.
Okay. Chat, if you see anything, so I'm gonna add the first one. I'm gonna add Nemalia to the list because, spoiler alert, I love Nemalia. But I think we should talk about it as well.
Cool.
Let me see. Let me get the little ranking thing ready here. So we can do 5, and let's see. What should Ruel rank? Let's see.
Linnaeus says Burn Cycle Gasha votes for women.
Okay, cool. Burn Cycle.
The Panic game saying I just checked out Nemalia on stream. Really fun.
Okay, we'll put that there. Thank you, Panic. Let me see.
And then we got one more. Do a wild scroll. Do a wild scroll of your mouse, and then stop at a point, and then we're gonna pick one out of those.
Oh, there.
You can pick one out. Maybe that you've played.
Oh, you know what? Here, Islet. I'm gonna put Islet. That is like, Islet is the most unique game in my collection. I can tell you that right now.
Wow.
I have exactly 0 games like Islet out of the 651 that I have.
That's pretty good. It feels like that should be the one to win.
I feel like too. So we're gonna do one of these, folks. Let me see. We got Burn Cycle. We've got Islet. I need one more. I'm gonna do 5. Oh, you know, I'm a Star Wars geek. I'm gonna put a Star Wars, the deck building game, because you all saw that here on the Rahdo Runs Through channel. Star Wars deck builder. I'm going to put this up right now. Oh wait, hold on a second. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had, what was the other one someone wanted? Was it Nemalia? Gasha votes for votes for women. Spoiler alert: I have not played Votes for Women yet. I have it. I just have not played it yet. Yeah. Let's see. I need one more. Oh, hey, I'm gonna throw this one on here. I'll throw on Boop. Boop. Have you played Boop yet?
I played a demo of it at Origins last year, and I thought it was real cute. And I feel like that's all you need to play to know everything about that game.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay, folks, I just started the poll, and I realized I forgot to put in Burn Cycle. I'll put Burn Cycle in next time, folks. I have 5 here. So if you want to vote, go ahead and click on the what game you want to see. You can also use your Rahdo points to influence the vote. And I believe Chris, maybe he's got some points that he wants to
Oh yeah,
burn today.
I got Rahdo points. I'm gonna spend them
Nice.
all.
Yeah. So let's see what we're gonna vote,
Boop
folks.
made my short list, honestly, for this current Spiel Des Jahres.
Oh yeah,
I was like that.
That game really,
nice.
for me personally, surprised me how much I liked it.
Yeah. I think it looks really slick, and I'm happy to like it because it's from the only thing I've reviewed of Smirk and Dagger is Night Cage, and I really didn't like Night Cage, so I'm happy to like a title that I've played,
right?
You know, because I'd be like, nah, don't worry about it. But Boop, yeah, let's hear it for Boop.
Boop. Okay, so
Boop's
let's
going.
go.
Islet's not getting votes. What the heck? He said it was the most unique game in his collection. People
just don't want to see it. Apparently, wow, that's a bummer. I thought for sure it was going to get some votes.
There's something about no music and in a duel. I don't know if that is a thing that you want to know, Ruel, but yes, Islet, look at that.
Islet,
everybody, you're very nice.
Nice. Okay, that's funny because I hear the alerts in my headphones, Chris. You don't hear it though,
I don't know.
Right?
Yeah, I was just reading the chat.
Okay.
I don't hear him.
Huh. That's interesting.
Islet's doing well. Now I'm gonna switch my vote to Boop just to
mess with everyone.
Just to mess people up. Oh no, I didn't even vote. There we go.
Hurry up and vote.
Oh, and I can vote again with my channel points.
Okay.
Oh, okay, phew.
Oh wow!
Start using my channel points. Let's hear about Islet, because honestly, I've never heard about this game yet.
Okay, cool.
Off my radar.
Thank you again for everyone for voting and for influencing the vote. If that was you, Chris, and everyone else who influenced, I am more than happy to talk about Islet. This is a game from our friends over at Hollandspiel Games. It is, how do I explain this? This takes the really classic roll and move mechanism. We all know it. You roll a die and then do it in action. This takes it, but does it in a different way. Let me see if there's any videos. I have not recorded a video for it yet, unfortunately. We'll go to Annabelle's how to play video here. Let me go here. As you can see, the board, you're literally taking shoelaces and threading them through the Islet board. And what you're doing, you roll the dice, and that's going to tell you how many movements you have to do. And you just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on one die, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 on another, for instance, etc., etc. There's a pink shoelace and a blue shoelace. You just go back and forth until you're the last person standing. When you cannot make a move on that board, the game is over. Your opponent wins.
It's only on one board.
It's only on one board.
Are you the pink shoelace and I'm the blue shoelace?
Nope. You can be either or.
Both.
Yeah, you can move both. And here's the fun thing. When you roll doubles, this is where the little twist comes in. Well, first of all, the twist is, if you look at the board, it's not evenly spaced. Like some rows are like further out holes, and some are closer together. Some have fewer, some have more. But the twist here, when you have doubles, you have to do that. So if I roll double fours, I have to move 4 laces 4 times each. So that's 4 times 4. Or I can play a safety. The safety, there is a pink safety and a blue safety. Those are laces that are not on the board yet, and by playing the safety, you can place it anywhere on the board. So now there are 3 strings on the board. And I did not expect anything from this game, Chris. It's been played dozens of times. I brought it to, I actually brought it to Dice Tower West, and I played that thing like 6 times, because it's really quick. It's only like 15 minutes. It's a 2-player only game, and boy, it's just a blast. I mean, you can see here, Annabelle's just threading it. It's very tactile, and it's just very satisfying to do. It's super simple. You just roll a die and do the things, and it's amazing how simple this game is, and yet how fun it is. I'm not going to try to sell it like this is not like your deep strategy Euro, of course, but as far as just being pleasing and satisfying and a good time, I cannot think of a better game to recommend for casual gamers and just for something to pass the time with Islet. That's Islet, folks.
This seems like something I've got to buy for my parents. It's Cross Stitch the board game, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah, that's it.
Knitting.
That is it. If you're into knitting, it's so good. So It's got 7.2 on BGG. I think it's way better than that. Let me see. I've got my ranking here. I'm going to rank it an 8.38.
Wow,
8.38,
that's
folks. That's really
8.38.
high.
Get out of here with this double decimal.
Yeah. Now I totally picked that up from Richard. That's how he does it. So he makes sure every single one of his games does not have the same rankings. So
Have the same.
yeah. So there it is,
Depending upon
folks.
how you feel
Islet.
when you ranked it.
Yeah. Islet from Holland Spiel Games, designer Amabel Holland. Cannot recommend it highly enough. It's so good. And Chris, if you've seen their games, check out Holland Spiel, folks. And not just Chris, but everyone. They do games that are unlike any other in the industry. I did one of them here. Why don't I share that while I'm here? Let me see. Holland Spiel, what was it called? Heading Forward. This, again, another very unique game. I know I did a video for this. Let's see if it's here. Rahdo. There it is. A Rahdo run through by Ruel. Heading Forward is a solo card game. It's at its heart, it is hand management, resource management. But the theme is unlike any I've ever seen in a game. You are playing a first player game. You are a patient recovering from a traumatic head injury. So this game, the timer, Chris, it's so interesting. The timer is actually the number of days equal the number of rounds in the game, but those days have been designated by the insurance company. That's how much time you have to rehab and recover. Yeah. So as you're trying to recuperate
it's
your
an American game.
Oh yeah, totally American game. Yeah. A total critique. But you have to you're trying to get your motor skills back, your social skills, and everything. And each card can play differently. You've got to manage it. It's so good, and I love that Holland Spiel's doing these type of games that are so different than anything out there on the market today. So, folks, be sure to check these out. Holland Spiel and Islet, so good. Yeah.
Yeah, I love any game that presents itself in a unique way that like is different from anything that I've seen. I'm naturally going to be more interested in it, right? Like,
totally.
There's just something awesome to people pushing the envelope and pushing that uniqueness forward.
I agree. I think
that's really cool, and I think I'm legitimately going to go get Islet now for my parents. Like maybe that's their Christmas gift.
They would.
Maybe it's my mom's birthday gift. Like
they would love it. They would love it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's something that they would actually like really play because it would play quick.
Yeah,
I'm really excited about it. Yeah,
you know what's so cool, Chris? Like they didn't show it in the box here, but the rule book. I kid you not. This is how old school this game is. I mean, it just came out. It just came out last year, but the rule book, the rules are in the back of the box. They're just printed on the back of the box. That's it. Yeah, there's like 4 rules. I think it's so good. Yeah, highly recommend. Matt Silvermetal Taverns in the chat. Yes, Matt, we did play this at Dice Tower West. I know we played it with Matt. So thank you for that, Matt. But anyways, that's Ruel Ranks, folks. I want to thank Linnaeus for doing that. I'm going to mark it as complete. Thank you so much for the request. Ranking. Yes, the ranking.
And thanks to Sea Otter who subscribed with Prime. Thank you for resubbing, Sea Otter. That's fantastic. Sea Otter's doing what you all could do if you have a Prime account, which is to get 1 free sub, and it costs Jeff Bezos money, and it puts it into the helping run the stream instead. Which, hey, who do you want to support? Jeff Bezos? Nah, you support him enough.
Yes.
So
Sailnet's also subscribed. Thank you, Sailnet. Appreciate you.
Thanks.
Good to see you. Yeah.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I don't know who Scott is. I'm assuming it's a friend of yours, but thank you, Scott.
That's Sailnet. Yeah, that's
nice. Sailnet.
I'm fairly certain. Let me know if I'm wrong.
Cool.
But I'm fairly certain.
We have a bunch of new followers as well. Thank you, PNP Wicked, Guru 1282, and all of you for following. Appreciate you. Very nice to see you all here. We are hanging out, getting ready to do our recording of the games that we feel are should have won the Spiel des Jahres over the last couple of years. And let me see what else we got to do. We're just hanging out, Chris. I guess we could jump right into the list because it's a pretty long list this week.
It might be a long list, and then we'll probably have time afterwards too, and we can hang out afterwards and talk. I like being able to hang out and chat afterwards too.
I do too. Yeah. So why don't we do that? Let's get let me get all the behind the scenes nonsense ready here. Again, folks, thank you so much for hanging out with us. So this is good. These are going to be our picks for the Spiel des Jahres
Mm-hmm.
2019 to 2023. Let me update the show banner. Let's see if that works. Yay. Okay.
We got to do a battle royale too to kick us
Yes.
off. I think, right?
Yeah. Do you want to kick it off, Chris? Do you know how to kick it off?
I don't know how you just hit royale. You just hit fight. What is it?
You
Exclamation
took
mark.
command, which is the exclamation point, battle
Yeah.
royale.
Let's do it.
All right. Good luck,
Did I do
everybody.
it?
Let's
Did
see
I
if it
do
works.
I don't know if I did it.
Oh, it's not working. Why is it not
I
working?
don't think I did it. Maybe because I'm just a guest.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, maybe that. Oh, yeah,
I don't
yeah.
have,
So apparently only Rahdo could do it. Okay, friends, get ready. And don't forget, you will be regenerated at the end of this. Whoever, wins gets extra points to spend on their avatars. And good luck, everybody.
Smash each other. Rip each other to shreds.
Yes.
Do it for our amusement. Yes. This is better than any Fortnite battle royale I've ever seen because it's about board gamers. Smash them and yes, let me see those little pieces fly all over the place. That's what I want to see. Explode the heads. Rip them limb from limb. Just now, med packs. We don't want healing. We don't want med packs. We want destruction. We want blood. We want chaos. Oh, I expect it to be over by now. I don't know how much more angry I can get, but I'm gonna rip them limb from them. Explosions, fire, pain, murder, suffering. Yes, it's like we're writing a metal song together.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Explosions, death,
there were two.
destruction. There were two. Oh, the insanity. Who's coming out on top? I can't see it, but I love their little.
Rhett Sam 3349, you have won the battle royale. Thank you. Congratulations. You get 100 extra gold. You can spend that on your avatar. Folks, if you want an avatar of your very own, be sure to hit the subscribe button here. And as Chris was telling us earlier, if you have an Amazon Prime account, you get 1 free sub per month. You can use that here. You get all kinds of cool benefits by supporting the channel. Not only do you support what Chris and I do here on the channel, but you also get merch discounts. So any Rahdo merch, you get a discount and all kinds of cool perks. So thank you for your support, and congrats to Rhett Sam for the win. I'm going to get this ready behind the scenes here. Let's see what this is. Okay, that's there. I press this button. I hope we're ready. We are getting ready for the show here. Yes. Okay. Cool. I know. I need to go over to this channel. I need to take this stuff off. By the way, folks, you see the little banners up there? My sample gold. So those that's for subscribers, followers, and trying to get goals. We reach certain goals, we unlock shows. That stuff had to be reset, and we're still sort of messing around with it. Obviously, it's not working, but every sub and everything that you bits that you spend, that goes again to support what we do here on the channel. I should have mentioned at the start, it's messed up, but I'm going to take those off right now. Look at that. Boom, gone, disappeared, just like that. And then we're going to get ready to do the show here. So let me get this ready. Boom, boom, boom. You all get to see the making of the sausage, as we say here on the channel, seeing all the cool stuff. Okay, Chris, we're good to go?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready.
All right. So we're going to have Richard's going to do the intro. He's got a little intro to do. Throws to us, and then we'll do a quick, hello, and then we'll get into it right away. You will be the first, starting with year, was it 2019?
2019? Okay, so we're starting going to 2023. Cool.
Yeah, 2019, 2023. Okay, cool. That works. Okay. And folks, if you don't mind, if anyone raids us, comes on live, you can hit Command LIVE live. So I was going to say, hey, everybody, we're recording for YouTube. We'll be back to chat with you as soon as we're done. Thanks for watching. So if anyone shows up, folks, please use the commands in chat. We'd appreciate it. Okay, Chris, here we go.
Let's do it.
All right, let's do this.
Hey everybody, this episode of the R&R&R Show is brought to you by Perk Coffee. And if you'd like to get 15% off your next order, head over to perk.rahdo.com. Okay, let's get the show going.
And hello, friends. Welcome to the R&R&R Show. I am Ruel Gaviola, joined by my co-host, Chris George. Chris, how the heck are you, my friend?
You know what? I'm better now that we are going to throw out the entire jury and impose our own tyranny upon the Spiel Des Jahres.
Yeah. And I've been really looking forward to this. This is going to be a
Yeah.
fun list. You know, we
Yeah,
do
I
all
think so
kinds of
too.
different types of topics here, but this one, of course, is very hot right now because they just released the nominees for this year's games. And, you know, my nominee for the best coffee around, by the way, is Perk Coffee. Chris, did you know that?
Tell me about it. They're my favorite coffee company
It
ever.
is delicious. I have been going through this bag of I've actually got a couple of bags, and this is by far my favorite. I've been going through them like a madman lately. This is the Brazil blend. Oh, it's so delicious. You know,
Nice.
normally save my coffee drinking for the weekends and have my cup of coffee, do my crossword puzzle, and just ease into my Sunday like that. But you know, this
Yeah.
coffee's too good to just share on Sundays. So I drink it, you know, every day of the, well, not every day of the week, but a lot of days of the weeks now. And folks, if you're watching, want to thank our sponsor, Perk Coffee.
Yeah.
You can also check out perk.rahdo.com and use the special code RRT15 for 15% off your next order, as Richard said in the intro. But hey,
Yep.
Chris, we've got a show to do. Let's talk first about our criteria for this. I mean,
Yeah.
did we just pick any game or whatever for these? How did you go about putting together your list?
Well, you and I picked pretty much any game we wanted, and then we realized we were picking for the wrong year, and we had to shift all of our lists. That was our first foray.
Yeah.
Because we both Ruel and I were like, okay, 2019 BGG, what came out in 2019? But you got to think about what came out in 2018. So I think that's worth mentioning is that like the 2019 pick likely came out in 2018.
Right.
Another thing that we were talking about is that normally for the Spiel des Jahres, it has to be released in Germany to be eligible in some capacity and in that sort of year. And so that's why you'll see things that have released before come get nominated in different years, etc. We kind of took that out of contention because it's a bit too hard to figure out and to research when exactly they came and were released, and that sort of is not as accessible. And so we're like, you know what? We'll just go with the correct year after we remade our lists.
Yeah.
And then also we were talking about complexity rating too, right? Because the Spiel des Jahres is supposed to be for family games. It's not the Kenner Spiel. It's it's just the regular Spiel.
Yep.
And so we were operating. What was your max complexity? I didn't look up what my max complexity was.
Yeah.
But when I was looking, I sorted by anything that got to like a 2.2. I didn't want to do 2. I didn't want to do. I know that there could have been less, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to stretch it a little bit and then make a judgment call on if it really is that complex or if it feels good for a family. So that's where I was trying to operate in.
Yeah, mine was
nothing more than like a 2.2.
Yeah, I did the same thing, Chris. I was excuse me, I maxed it out to about 2.25, anything up until there. And I do want to say, and Richard brought this up, this is a good point. Like, you know, typically family games, you know, you do think on the lighter end, but again, families are different. Like, I seriously know one of my gaming buddies, his idea of a family game, like a gateway game, like he's done this with his like his family. He brought Brass Birmingham to the table. I'm like, Brass, really? I would never think about
Spiel
that.
des Jahres.
Yeah, totally.
No problem.
Yeah, I was like, okay, cool. So again, families are different, you know, game playing abilities are different, but we're gonna stick to a more general. Hey, this is family friendly, and we're gonna jump it right into it. Starting with year 2019, and Chris, I'll let you kick things off with your pick for the year.
Yeah. So the one that did win in 2019, I believe I have the list up here, and I might be wrong, but I'm not wrong. I just say that because I get nervous and self-conscious. I know I'm right because I got the list right there.
Yes.
Anyway, the one that won in 2019 was Just One. That was the one that ended up winning. You can get a sense of the weight, you get a sense of the genre. But for me, this game blows Just One out of the water. I do not understand why it has not been nominated. It's in a very similar, like, trying to communicate with each other in a group. There's 2 teams. It also knocks Codenames out of the water for me. This is you know what? I'm lying to you. That might be my 2020.
You're lying. Look at this. Controversy, folks.
I got sidetracked with Just One. Forget you've heard anything.
Okay.
Never mind. My 2019.
Yes.
Let me start again. My 2019 is actually the game that I think might be the best one out of my 5. We're coming in hot. Okay. I absolutely love this game. I don't own a copy yet, but I need to go out and buy it. This is so accessible. It's so fun. It's got a push your luck mechanic to it. You're drawing things out of a bag, and you're trying not to explode and draw too many cherry bombs. This
Yep.
is Quacks of Quedlinburg.
Nice.
It came out in
Yeah.
2018. So you
So
see,
good.
my dates were wrong. My dates were off. It came out in
Oh,
2018, so
so
it would
good.
be eligible for 2019. This game is so good. I just
Yes.
played it for the first time in January because I was at
Okay.
Niagara Board Game Weekend, and when I played it, I was looking through a selection of games, and I was like, "Oh, I'm happy to play either of these. I'm happy to play Quacks." And the people who I was going to play with, their face lit up, and they're like, oh, "We love that game." I was like,
Nice.
"Great!" And absolutely, I'm on board. The same feeling. It is criminal that this is not the winner of 2019. This blows Just One out of the water. This is so much better than Just One. You might as well take your copy of Just One and set it on fire and put it in a little cherry pot and give yourself ashes to pull from to make your Quacks of Quedlinburg more thematic. That's the
Yes.
only way you should use Just One. No, I mean, Just One's a fun game. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
But Quacks of Quedlinburg is just so good. It's so simple. It's just so simple. You're building your bag and like you're pulling out stuff, and you get further along the spiral, and that's how much buying power you have to add more stuff to your pot. You get points. It's just so easy, so accessible, and it's not too punishing either, because you have the choice if you bust to get either buying power or points, and so it gives you that option. I think it's just a gem of a game. So good for families, so easy to pick up. One that I cannot wait to add to my collection. That's Quacks of
Agreed.
Quedlinburg.
Agreed. This
Yeah.
is so, you had me at Push Your Luck. I mean, I love Push Your Luck games. Michelle and I, it's one of our favorite genres, along with Tile Lane. But
Yeah.
as I'll put this back here. This was Richard's run through a couple of years ago. As you can see, each different thing that you're pulling out of the bag has different abilities and so forth. And I love that. And I do think this is a good family weight game, right? It's
Yeah.
how easy is it to just pull something out of a bag and put it on your little pot there and try to score points. So good. It's funny though. I feel like maybe the name, like when I first heard the name Quacks of Quedlinburg, I just immediately
Agreed.
thought it was a game about ducks. Am I the only one? Like
Yeah.
I don't know why, but
I didn't know what it was about, but I did
yeah.
not expect I expected some sort of dry Euro, honestly. I
Yo,
expected
yeah,
like
okay.
more
Yeah.
complex. I was like, I don't know where Quedlinburg is, but there's
Yeah.
something that's happening, and it sounds like one of those medieval towns that
Right.
is hard for people to get into. This is not
Totally.
that. It's just wildly good.
Yeah, it's a great choice, Chris. Yeah, 2019. I mean, that is, it was published in 2018, but 2019,
Yeah.
I can't think of a better game for that year. But I can think of one game though. One game that
Other
I
than
picked
one?
for the year. Yeah, another game. I think this is a wonderful game. You and I are both fans of the good Doctor Rainer Knizia. And
We are.
for my pick for 2019, the Spiel Des Jahres, I picked one of my favorite games of his. It's on the lighter end, which I think it's perfect for families, but it is his game Blue Lagoon. A wonderful game that, as the good Doctor does on a lot of things, he does iterations of games, and there's his classic game Through the Desert. And he took that and streamlined it and made it more family friendly, and actually teamed up with Blue Orange Games. They do a lot of cool family games, and I think this fits right in with their family line of games here. By the way, this is, you can see Shay Parker here in the corner. He's hanging out with the Brothers Murph. This is a few years ago, their playthrough of Blue Lagoon. So what you're doing is you're building routes, and you think of it, I like to call this is like Moana, the board game, because when you look at it, it looks like Moana. You've got all the a very Hawaiian looking theme, and you're just building little boats and stuff. And as you do, you're going to connect the different spots on there, and as you do, you will be gathering goods. And then what it does, it's really cool. About midway through the game, when you've connected all the different islands and stuff, you take a break and you score things. And as you score everything, you're gonna take those pieces off the board, except for the ones on certain sites. Those will remain there, because in the second half of the game, you're gonna do the exact same thing. But now that you've had particular points already set up, you can start connecting the scoring options a lot quicker. And It's so good. This is actually the game I prefer to Through the Desert. I mean, Through the Desert's been well acclaimed, but you know what? Give me Blue Lagoon because I think it plays quicker. It's just I like the set collection in it. It's easier for families, and it's just prettier. Through the Desert's got all the camels and stuff, which is cool, but it's very beige. This one is bright. It hits you in the face, and it just screams fun, and that's why it's my choice for 2019, the Spiel des Jahres, Blue Lagoon.
Yeah, it's a solid game. I love the colors too in that copy. I love the little huts, right?
Yeah.
It's one that I don't play that often. It's one that's
Okay.
like it goes back and forth of like being. I'm like I keep it on my collection because it's so pretty and so quick and so fun to play. But it's not one that I end up gravitating towards. It's one of those that like I want to play more.
Yeah.
To justify it staying around, right? But
Yep.
yeah, it's a great time. I do quite enjoy that game.
Yeah, Blue Lagoons. I mean, it's it's the good doctor. If you don't like it, get rid of it. You could buy one of his other 700 games that he's created.
True, yeah.
Right. Okay, let's hear what Richard's got planned for us for his pick of 2019. Take it away, Richard.
Okay, so this is going to be fun because for the first time, I've actually gotten Ruel and Chris's entries ahead of time, so I can actually comment on them before I tell you what I think is the best gateway game for 2019 and should have gotten the Spiel des Jahres. But before I get to that, the official game that just won, is phenomenal. Make no mistake. I definitely think it warrants being put on such a high pedestal. But here's my problem. It doesn't work for two. And it drives me nuts how so often, year after year after year, the Spiel des Jahres judges just completely ignore families that aren't the traditional nuclear unit of, oh, 2 parents and 2 kids. What about couples? What about single parents with a single child? They should get gateway games nominated for them too if there's only 2 in the household. And just one is phenomenal if you've got 4 or 5 or 6 people to play with. So me personally, I don't think it should get the top spot. The Spiel des Jahres should be for all families. Anyway though, that's neither here nor there. So while I disagree with that one, Ruel, I totally agree. Blue Lagoon, man, Reiner Knizia and Blue Orange Games, they got robbed. This game is such a wonderful, fusion of, Reiner Knizia's Through the Desert and games that have like multiple phases like Fjords or Santa Cruz. I think it's phenomenal. It definitely deserved a nod at least, and it totally makes sense you would put it on the list. Chris, we're going to have to agree to disagree because, interestingly, Quacks of Quedlinburg won the Kennerspiel the year before. And I'm sure the guys have already mentioned that we, for doing this list, we could not actually stick to the official Spiel des Jahres rules, that it has to be from mid-year to mid-year published in Germany. We don't know what all that is, so we're just going within the year. But even still, I kind of agree with the judges that Quacks of Quedlinburg, for me, I used to, when I was thinking about games that should get the Spiel, I would think about my mother-in-law, Nancy. How hard of a time would she have to learn to play this game, especially if she were on her own or with a bunch of other, of her friends. Nowadays, I think, does it pass the Mandy Patinkin test for folks who know what I'm talking about, that old Wingspan video? And honestly, I can't imagine Mandy Patinkin dealing with all the variable special powers that Quacks throws at you. I think it's a good next step game, which is why it won the Kennerspiel. Well, actually, I have my problems with the game as a whole. Folks can go back and watch my original run-through. I was actually kind of down on it while everybody else was raving about it. But regardless, that's what everybody else said. What do I say should get the number 1 spot? Why, Arraial, of course, which is such a fantastic polyomino tile-laying Tetris game. And I think it would work so well as a gateway because everybody knows Tetris. And this game is much more Tetris-y than pretty much every other polyomino tile-laying game out there because of the idea that they come in at the top and you slide them down. And even when they hit the ground, they can still slide left and right, just like classic Tetris. And I think this game is incredibly easy to teach because it has Tetris, but then it throws in a little bit of area majority stuff and a little bit of interaction because players can't rotate their tiles as they're coming down. They have to spend action points to rotate them before they get drafted. And the thing is, when I rotate them, I'm not only changing their orientation for me, but for everybody else around the table too. So I think this is a wonderful game that anybody who knows anything about Tetris, and isn't that everybody on the planet now, is going to be able to sit down and instantly be comfortable, and yet see that, okay, I thought I knew what Tetris was, but boy, this game does a lot of extra stuff as well. And for me, a Spiel des Jahres game has to open people's minds and make them realize there is more to board games than they think. And I think Arraial does it, which is why, for my money, it should have won the 2019. Was it available in Germany? I don't know. I don't care. That's the one I'm picking. Okay, guys, what do you think?
So yeah, I am a huge fan of Arraial, and when
Yeah.
I first joined the channel, Richard and I did this list of hidden gems throughout the years, and his choice was Arraial. I'd never even heard of it, so I tracked down a copy. They were still selling it at Pandasaurus. I don't know if it's still available through Pandasaurus, but oh my gosh, this is one of the best Tetris style games out there, and I think it's a perfect family weight game. And Chris, I'm laughing a little bit because Richard was sort of like giving you a little grief there about your pick, and he did win the Kennerspiel though the year before apparently.
Nah.
So
See,
it's a good game.
I got a lot of issues. I got a lot of issues with Kennerspiel not being Spiel, because like I get that Kennerspiel now exists in order to like prop up more complex games, but for me, Quacks does pass the Manny Patinkin test. If you haven't seen that Manny Patinkin playing Wingspan, he is confused. I use it. I put that clip on my channel anytime I can.
Yeah.
But I really think that Quacks is so accessible because of the simplicity of the game flow.
Yeah,
that's all I'll say about that. Too.
I'm gonna
make sure I have the last word pre-recorded, Richard.
That's what we get to do here. No, I would tend to agree with you more, Chris, because I do feel it's a little more family weight than than Mandy Patinkin. I feel like he would learn it a lot easier than Wingspan, but it is a good. I think what Richard said, it's a good measure of what they're trying to do with
for sure.
Spiel, I believe. So yeah, good choice. Have you played Arraial? Have you even heard of Arraial?
I haven't. No.
Yeah,
you know what? I think I've heard of it through probably an R&R show. I feel like it's been referenced in passing, but that's my only touch point.
Yeah, we've raved about it plenty of times here. My wife Michelle, the second we played it, we instantly loved it. And I'm going to give some free advice. I'm not one to really give advice to anyone, but here's the thing: Pandasaurus, if you're listening, take Arraial, just rename it Block Party. And I guarantee I can't guarantee you'll sell out, but you will sell a lot more copies because even though I love Arraial and I understand, it's a Portuguese term for a block party, why not just call it Block Party and show those little block. Oh, anyways, it's such a good game, and I would love to see it in the hands of more people to play. So, anyways, that's our 2019 picks, folks. Let's move on. We're doing all the years up until 2023. Gonna throw it back to Chris. He sort of gave a spoiler alert, a little spoiler earlier, but
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's get back on track here, my friend.
Let me tell you. Now, if you could guess about my game, I bet you would think it was something that was better than Just One and better than Codenames. Came out, in 2019, going for 2020, and this is an awesome party game.
Yeah.
I bring it with me anytime I know I'm going to be with a group of non-gamers specifically who I can't bank on being gamers. It's always been a hit, and that's Wavelength. Wavelength is my number 2020. Wavelength is my choice for 2020. Wavelength is so good. This I think really embodies I think why I like Quacks of Quedlinburg the best is that, like, okay, fine, it's probably one of the more complex one out of the 5. You know how I said it was my favorite out of the 5, but the Wavelength I think embodies what the Spiel is actually about and what they're trying to do with their choices, right? Like I absolutely respect that, and I think I do sort of veer to enjoying more complex games, but like Wavelength is so good. The whole premise you can see right there. There's that gear. And so you have two teams like Codenames. One person is a spy master, let's call them that, and they look at where the actual point of on the spectrum the clue is, and then they give a clue based upon a range. So if they'll draw a random card, says hot and cold, then they have to pick something in between that range to get their team to turn the dial blindly, so that when it's revealed, you can see if they link up to the same wavelength, right? You want to get on the same wavelength as your team. So if it was all the way on the hot side, you might say lava. And if it was all the way on the cold side, you might say not lava. No, just kidding. You might say like the North Pole, right? But there's all the clues are different, aren't that simple. Like they have those the simple ones in there, and it just leads to a lot of laughs. And why I think it's better than Codenames is because at Codenames you get that discussion of what were you thinking? Oh, at the end of the game. Wavelength you get at the end of every round. And so you get to
Yes.
have that conversation and communication, and you don't need to hold the poker face for as long because you're constantly cycling who's giving the clues. And I think that just makes for a much more conversational atmosphere as well. So that's why I think it should have been nominated. I'll talk about this game any day. This is my number one gateway game. I think for people
Yeah.
who hate games, like I'll always say Wavelength.
Yeah.
So that's why it's my pick. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic choice, Chris. I love Wavelength, and for the reasons
Yeah.
you've talked about. And again, just to reiterate, I also think this is better than Codenames. Codenames, really, I think it redefined the genre of party games, and where more
Yeah.
gamers, really appreciate Codenames. But I think Wavelength is that perfect mix of, hey, gamers really enjoy this game and non-gamers really enjoy this. And as you said, it's one of those things where every round you're having conversation, and isn't that what we're all about gaming in the first place?
Yeah.
And again, just to reiterate what you said, it's really does capture the spirit of board games, and what I think the Spiel is trying to do as well is get more, family style games and get these out there. I've had those moments too in Wavelength where it's like, oh, how can you think this is this much, or this is not really hot, that's not really cold, or whatever, and you have that midpoint. Always a wonderful time. I really enjoyed this game, and I don't even think it was like nominated that year, which is
Was
really
it? No,
yeah,
it wasn't
it's
nominated.
such a shame. It should have been nominated at the very least. Yeah, great call, my friend. That's a really good game. Let's move on to my pick for 2020. This one was just a huge hit for me immediately. I actually years ago when this in 2020. This was all the rage at Dice Tower West. I remember that's when they had like the release to it. I'd never heard of the game. I saw it there. I saw the demo. I was like, this is gonna be good. And sure enough, it went on to be a big hit. And this is what my pick was for 2020. It's the game. Oops, I just pressed the wrong one. It is the game Tiny Towns. It's a game by Peter McPherson. It is a wonderful. It's almost like a roll and write board game form. Right, so you're drawing, resources on, placing resources on your board there. One player is gonna call out, "Hey, I want, the a wood resource or brown." So everyone takes one of their brown wood pieces and places it anywhere in their little town. And as you do this, you cycle through the different resources. You're trying to build buildings that are comprised of Tetris style like looking shapes, polyomino shapes, and then when you do that shape with the right resources, you replace it with one of the buildings. And each building will score differently. Some of them, want to be next to others. Some of them need to be all by themselves. Others need to be fed by a farm. You have to have the farm on board. Oh, there's so many. It's so replayable, and then they've also have expansions to it. But the base game honestly is fine. I'm playing this here with my wife and daughter on Tabletop Live Network. We streamed this a couple of years ago. It's a great game to play through the internet. If you have Zoom or whatever, one player just, you could literally have someone just draw it on a piece of paper. That's how easy it is. But it's so good. I wonder. I'm always curious about the development of these games. Was this considered for a roll and write first? I don't know, but it just has that feel of like, one player, like bingo style, right? One player calls something, everyone puts it on their board or writes it on the board. Oh, it's so good. Plays in about 20 to 30 minutes. I have used this personally, Chris, at game nights, and specifically for my family, and they've loved it. My niece and nephew, they were better at it than me, so I never bring it anymore. But they enjoyed it. They learned it quickly. It was so much fun. And also at other game nights for more seasoned gamers, we would use this sort of like as a filler between heavier games. And for me personally, as a solo gamer, it's got a great solo mode too. So it's a hit on every level. That's why it's my choice for the Spiel in 2020, Tiny Towns.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I'll tell you, I'm going away for 3 months, and I was packing a bag and maybe interacting with non-gamers. And Wavelength was an immediate put in, and then Tiny Towns was also an immediate one to put in the bag.
Good calls.
And then I
friend.
stuffed Letter Jam in Tiny Towns, which also could have been for 2020.
Oh, was that this?
Great
Was
play.
that also a 2020 game, Letter Jam?
Yeah. I just looked. I was just looking it up. Yeah, it was 2019, so it would have been for 2020. Lots of
Very
good
nice.
year. Yeah.
Oh, so good. So if you're watching this on YouTube, folks, we record this live on Twitch on Tuesdays, and we have a lot of cool behind the scenes stories and stuff. And if you want to check the link below for the extended version and hear all about Chris talking about his upcoming trip. But in the meantime, let's move on to Richard and see what he's got for us in the year 2020.
Okay, 2020. What won the Spiel des Jahres? Pictures. And you know what I have to say about that since I just ranted about it in the last year. Again, I'm sure it's a lovely experience if you've got a big group of people, and therefore, to me, it is invalid because it is not a game for all families out there. And I want games that are. But what did Ruel come up with? Tiny Towns. That's one I very seriously considered myself putting on this short list because I love Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns made my top 10 games of the year when it came out, and I've loved all the expansions. I do worry. Again, does it pass the Potemkin test? Because you've got all those, every time you play, what is it? Is it either 5 or 6 different totally unique scoring things? And it is great that the game gives you a recommended, hey, the first time you play, choose these particular buildings. I suppose it would work okay, especially because there's no hidden information, right? So it's not like players have to figure anything out on their own. They can work as a group to try and work their way through it. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. I was a little on the fence, but it is absolutely phenomenal. And I mean, if you've got a gamer geek in your life, of course, they'll be able to teach it to you, and it's fantastic. And let's see. Oh, what did Chris go with? Oh, Wavelength. Okay, which I'm sure is lovely, a good alternative to Pictures, but again, more of a party game, so it doesn't work for me. So far, Chris, you're 0 for 2. But what did I think was the winner, or should have been anyway? Ticket to Ride London. Now, Ticket to Ride is widely regarded as the go-to gateway game for very good reason. Simple, rummy card collection, and then spending them to get trains on the board just works perfectly. It deserves its spot as a classic gateway. But for my money, Ticket to Ride London improves on Ticket to Ride in every possible way. One, because it's a 20-minute game instead of an hour-plus long game. And if I'm sitting down, or if people are trying to learn a game for the first time, I think it's better to get them in, get them to the exciting stuff fast, and kind of get them hooked in. What? The game's over? Set it up. We're going again. I don't know if that necessarily happens with full Ticket to Ride, but the Ticket to Ride London, which is part of a series of smaller, quick filler Ticket to Rides, does a much better job. London, I think, is the best of the ones that have come out as a gateway because it adds one extra little thing. That idea of borough bonuses that is so simple and easy to understand because you can see it right there on the board and everybody instantly understands. So this is actually better at gatewaying than the greatest gateway of all time as far as I'm concerned, which is why Ticket to Ride London is my pick for the game that should have won the Spiel des Jahres that year.
So you're 0 for 2, Chris.
Are you coming for me, Richard? Nah, you can play Wavelength 2 players. Come on, you got on the same wavelength. You see if you can get it. You play it just like Codename Duet.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah,
easy peasy. You just need to broaden your mind a little bit, Richard.
There
That's
it is.
all,
Yeah.
really.
Now that you just mentioned, I want to see Wavelength Duet. You could totally do Wavelength Duet. Why not?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Well, it's just because Wavelength is so incredible in its complete package that you could just apply the rules to the already existing product, and they wouldn't even have to sell you more, right? Again, speaking to why it should have won the Spiel des Jahres.
Exactly. Nice. Now I like Richard's choice here though. Ticket to Ride London is I think there's like a few of them, right? Like as you mentioned, the smaller box games, and Ticket to Ride the original. That's the one that really solidified my love for this hobby, Chris. I had gotten in through pandemic, sort of like Richard, but when Michelle, my wife, joined me for Ticket to Ride, that was like, okay, instant, like, oh, we're playing this every night for a week straight, and that's really when I fell in love with the hobby and, brought my wife and also our daughter, she played it. So if I would have had Ticket to Ride London back then, though, I definitely would have picked that because it's just shorter and it has everything you want in Ticket to Ride in a much more condensed package. So,
I think it's interesting, too, because if it maybe the length of the original Ticket to Ride is what helps it be a gateway, right? It helps people get into it and know that they can last for longer than that their attention span can be held for that amount of time, and having it at that 20 minutes is just more in that sort of like filler category. I don't know. Ticket to Ride was how my parents got into the board gaming hobby as well. Like I introduced them to Ticket to Ride, and they just loved it. So
Yeah.
like it passes the Chris George parents test. That's for sure.
Yeah, we've got a couple of tests, folks. We got the Patinkin
Yeah.
test. We got Chris George's parents test. Now that you say it, and I think there's something to be said for having that longer, bigger map, because I know when I put that map down on the board, the original, the U.S., or at least for us, the big U.S. / Canada map. I mean, that really draws people to the table. It's like, whoa, look at that. That thing is beautiful. And you've got all these trains everywhere. I mean, it just looks awesome. And I think that really does draw people into it, when you're out there. So, yeah. Okay.
Seems like
that's
Richard's over too.
I know, Richard's. I love it. That's 2021 or 2020.
Yeah.
So let's move on to 2021. Chris, we'll let you kick things off.
Oh yeah, Richard's gonna hate this one too. But this one honestly is my sort of I'm least sure of. Micro Macro won in 2021. I was just looking at the list. I'm fairly certain, and so like I think that's actually a pretty interesting one to win it. This one is also kind of in that really interesting game realm. I played it also in January for the first time, and honestly, this one was me trying to coincide with the Spiel's criteria the most. I was like, okay, I'm really trying to scale down the complexity here. I'm really trying to think in what has previously won for this pick. So I was like, okay, I gotta do at least one, so that when my last one is too complex and would not pass the Manny Patinkin test, I already know. I've got that as a pass. I have this as my 2021. And so this one is a very simple game. It deals all with colors. So if you're colorblind, this game is not accessible to you at all. You cannot buy it. Also, potential why maybe it could be nominated, but I think it's got that interesting complexity to it, and I think this is one that could hit with a lot of families that a lot of regular board games don't hit with. I've seen this one it's called Hues and Clues. I'll say the name so we can get a picture of it.
Hues and Cues.
Hues and Cues. That's what I said.
Yes.
Don't rewind to hear me say something different. So you'll see there's this big spectrum of color there, that spectrum of color board, and the whole, it plays a little bit like Dixit if you're familiar. I'll have a clue in my hand, and I'll have 4 choices of color, and then I will pick a 1-word clue in order to say where to put the token. This is the thing that I'm thinking of. Maybe I'll say lemon, or maybe I'll say mustard, or maybe I'll say despair, right? Maybe I'll say 1 word, and then you have to put your token, your piece, on whatever square you think is the color that I'm trying to convey. And then I'll give another 2-word clue, and you've got another piece. And then I put down this like little grid, and if you're anywhere within this grid, you get a point. So it's like trying to hone in on the colors. It's kind of similar to like concept. It's kind of like Codenames-esque, Wavelength style in that same genre. And the reason I decided to opt to put this one on is because there's a friend of mine who's a huge board gamer, board game designer actually, and then his partner isn't really huge on board games at all. His partner just kind of comes around. He's not like that interested. He kind of tolerates board gaming because his husband is so into it, right? But when he played this game, he like loved it and like lit up. And I think this is gonna like really appeal to the people who don't enjoy games, right? I think this is an easy family game to pull out. I think it's really easy to teach, get on board, and so that's why I decided to put this as my 2021. Trying to go, this is the closest to I think the actual Spiel criteria, and it kind of surprises me. Maybe it wasn't released in Germany, but it surprises me that it wasn't a contender or short list just because of its simplicity, and because I saw like the effect of a game that like I've never seen him experience before. He's like, yeah, this is nice. Like this, I like this one, And so from like that experience, that's why I wanted to give this one a shout out.
Yeah, I think this could have easily, again, I think it hits all the criteria for a Spiel winner. Family friendly, very very simple. I mean, you teach this game in like less than 2 minutes, right? It's super easy.
So easy.
The one thing I will say, so I'm red-green colorblind, Chris, and when I heard about this game, I was like, yeah, this is a no-go. I will never play this.
Right.
Even though I'm an Omni gamer, I try to give everything a shot. I'll play anything.
Yeah.
So in true, as a true Omni gamer, I said, what kind of Omni gamer am I to just shut any kind of game out like that? So I gave it a shot. It actually worked. It worked, and here's
Really?
why. Here's why. Even though the colors are, they're pretty rough for me. My eyes, red, green, I have problems with, and blue, purple as well. So what I did, I sort of like, before the game even started, Michelle, I said, okay, show me where green, red, and everything is on the board. And then from that point on, I have the reference point. And then, I can play the game normally. So, she would say the word could be like lime green, right? So it throws a really interesting twist, because now you've got to think, what does Ruel think green looks like? We know he's colorblind. Is it going to be a little more red or whatever? So it may not be for everyone. I can't recommend that for everyone, because it is going to put you on the spot. If you're new to a group, I can see how that might be a little socially awkward or just stressful. But for me, I was able to play with my family a few times, and I actually played when the game came out with the BGG crew. We did a live stream of it, and I let them know ahead of time, hey, y'all, here's my color range. This is what's going to happen. But I had a good time. It was fun. You have to be able to laugh at yourself as well. It's like, oh yeah, I think this green looks totally like this. Oh, obviously it's not green, but I still had a fun time with it. And so yeah, probably not my first choice as a colorblind player, but definitely playable and fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of fun, we got another one for 2021. This is my choice, and I was thrilled to include this on the list because it's been one of my favorite games since it came out a couple of years ago, and I'm just going to cut to the chase. It is Project L. This game is a tile-laying game. Yeah, I absolutely love this game. I did a run-through of the solo game using the Finesse expansion here on the Rahdo Runs Through channel. However, the base game by itself is excellent. And that's the game I'm basing the criteria of a Spiel winner. You can totally bring some family gathering, and hey, it looks like Tetris, and the components are fantastic. So again, you put this on the table, like, ooh, this looks like Tetris. Like, yeah, it's a little like Tetris. What we're doing is, you don't have to say this term, but engine building. You could just say, hey, as you complete puzzles, you're going to get more pieces. You use those pieces to complete more puzzles for more points. And the Finesse expansion really, we're all here on the Rahdo Runs Through channel. We like things a little more, deeper, complex. I would highly recommend the Finesse expansion. However, for the purpose of this list, I think the base game is awesome, and I think it should have won the Spiel this year. Played it with all ranges of gamers, and all the new gamers I've taught this game to have picked it up within a couple of minutes. All you have to do is say, here, hand out the pieces, the little puzzles. Hey, we're going to complete these puzzles. And as you go, you have this, player aid. It explains everything on the player aid, and I love that. I wish more games should do that. I think, honestly, that should be a criteria for the Spiel, Chris, is like, you have to have a good player aid in your game. I honestly believe that, because it helps tremendously. It gets the game played. People don't have to stress over remembering all the rules because they're right there on the player aid. And Project L is a perfect example of that. Build the puzzles. As you complete the puzzles, you get your pieces, you get more pieces, you get more points, and then when you complete a certain number of them, the game is over, and you count the points, and most points wins. If that's not a Spiel winner, I don't know what is. That's why it's my choice for 2021, Project L.
Yeah, great choice. This was, honestly, I was between Project L and Hues Cues, and like, I think it's a great choice. I think it's so surprising to me that it wasn't. I don't even think it was nominated.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Like, just so efficient. It hits in that same way that Splendor does, but in a different way. But that's so satisfying. Yeah, really fun. Quite enjoyed playing it too.
Agreed. Okay, let's see what Richard's got for 2021.
Okay, 2021, and it looks like the official winner that year was Micro Macro Crime City, which I gotta be honest, really surprises the heck out of me, because, well, one, it's not really a board game. It's more of just kind of a shared activity. It's kind of more like, hey, let's everybody get around together and do a big, communal crossword puzzle, except we're solving crimes. So, that's fine. And, it is a fun activity. I have played it with Jen, but I don't think that's something that leads people to say, wow, board gaming, who knew? It doesn't even feel like a board game. But more to the point, I mean, again, if this is supposed to be for families, including maybe folks with young kids, I mean, there's a case where you're literally tracking down a serial killer that's driving around in a van abducting people, and there's like nudity in the game, and I think that might come as a bit of a surprise for some parents who were just expecting to have a fun time with their kids. So that one always kind of surprised me that it made the top, because it's not a game and it's not necessarily for all families. Of course, plenty of people have no problem with it. So anyway, that was the official one. Ruel, once again, I think you nailed it. Project L is a fantastic alternate board game take on Tetris. I don't think it's as good as what was the best from 2019, Arraial, but it is very good. I mean, your run through that you did for the channel really proves it, and I think that one certainly deserved consideration. Chris, once again, we will have to agree to disagree, because Hues Cues is another party game. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, obviously they're fun experiences, but anyway, I've spoken on that. Regardless, what do I think took the top nod, or should have? Trufle Shuffle from Flat Out Games, and they've had some really big hits on their hands, and this one didn't get quite as much attention, but I think it's one of their best. A very simple card drafting game. You can teach the entirety of the rules to this in like one paragraph. I mean, it's basically on your turn, draft a card or score your cards. That's it. It does require people being familiar with the basics of poker hands, but it has a very nice player aid that sums all that up for maybe kids who don't know their way around a full house, etc., etc. But the important thing is, this is such a fun communal drafting game, because you can see half of the cards are face down, and they're a gamble what you're going to get, and the other ones are face up, and as you dig your way deeper into the pyramid, more and more stuff gets revealed. And the thing is, you're trying to save up to score really big, powerful hands, and sometimes you can get some special powers that let you jump around to help with that. But if a given triangle, because you're going to play through 3 full pyramids of this game, if a given pyramid gets completely emptied out before you've scored, you end up losing a lot of your cards. So there's this whole push your luck. Maybe what I need is in one of those hidden things on the top row. I just got to hold on a little bit longer, and will I have time to score this? If it's not, should I just, cash in my chips now or risk it all? It's really fun. Really, really great game. Deserves a lot more attention than it got. And it's kind of a bummer that, it's been kind of forgotten. Trufle Shuffle.
So apparently it's pick on Chris Day today here on the R&R Show. Chris, you're being picked on by the man himself.
No, I'm fine with it. No, I mean, I knew it was going to happen. Yeah. I mean, honestly, I think the colorblind thing is worse, because if you want it to be accessible, I'm so glad it hit with you, but
yeah, he's Richard's got his taste. We all know his taste for games. I feel like as far as Trufle Shuffle is concerned, I really like that game. I think it's fantastic. I believe it might have been, and I'm not sure about the dates here, but I have a feeling it was overshadowed by Point Salad, which I think is more of a Spiel winner than Trufle Shuffle. Now, Trufle Shuffle is wonderful, but I think they came out around the same time. They're also both by Flat Out Games and then went over to AEG. So I believe that that's why it sort of got lost in the Trufle Shuffle. See what I did there?
Yeah.
Well done.
So very well done.
I believe that might be part of the reason why it didn't hit as big as it did. So anyways,
dang. 0 for 3 for Richard then. That's
0 for 3 for Richard. Okay, so why don't we move on to what do we got? 2022. There it is. Yes, Point Salad. It's such a wonderful game. Let's move on to 2022 and find out what Rich is going to pick on Chris next here.
That's
on
true.
the channel.
2022. Well, the winner of 2022 is a friggin' great game. It's probably my favorite out of the 5 years that we're covering. Cascadia won in 2022.
Love that game.
And it's really good. It's this right above my head here too. Look, I can reach. I've got it within my. There we go. I've got it within my grasp. Good. Cascadia. This one was hard. I honestly might have just been like, hey, let's make Cascadia the winner. I agree. It's just a really good game. It's a new addition to the World Series of Board Gaming this year. It's just so fun at all player counts as well, 2 to 4. It just works. But mine is also great, and I'm taking the stance it is better. So get out of here, Cascadia, because we got a new sheriff in town, and that is emblematic of something created over the pandemic to make sure that millions of people could play with each other. A print and play, a roll and write, accessible with a lot of variations, a great price point. This is Rolling Realms. Rolling Realms is my pick for Spiel for 2022. This game is just it just works. It's slick, it's quick, it does the trick. It doesn't give you the ick, but you know, it makes you want to flick your cards. And
keep it going. Keep it going.
Yeah, no, that's all I'm thinking of. You know, if it were a candle, it would immediately light the wick. No,
yes.
That's a bad one. Now, Rolling Realms, it just is. You get 3 cards, and those 3 cards will interact with each other in a different way. And you roll 2 dice, and you can use those numbers on the cards. You use one on one, one on the other, and you try to chain something into the other. And each card has its own scoring condition, and each card gives you bonuses in a different way. So the way they mix and match together just works. It's such a good filler, a lot of variability, and also a lovely price point. So it hits kind of all those bars for me. It really blew me away in terms of how it works. Probably won't be accessible enough for somebody later on. I don't know how it's gonna get dethroned from the Spiel, or how it's gonna be ineligible, but I know it's gonna be. But even still, I'm sticking with my guns.
Nice.
And it's Rolling Realms is my pick for 2022.
Yeah, a wonderful game. And just folks, you can see our run through here on the Rahdo channel. We actually played it, Richard and I, and you can play along with us if you have a copy of the game, or you can download a playable sheet, because all you do is, you know, write down the dice that have been rolled. So, you know, this one, Chris, now I may lean towards Richard's side here, because of one thing.
Too complicated?
It is pretty complicated. I feel like the basic mechanisms are easy. Roll dice and write it on the sheet. But as far as like knowing what to do and you know, okay, here it is. I'm going to tell you, I'll do it for one reason. Decimal points. Like the decimal points for the extra stuff you get, that's like, I feel like that's a bit much for any gamer. When you start throwing decimal points around, like, whoa, what? I have 2 extra resources. It's 0.2 now. What's going on? But I mean, a wonderful game. I think you're right as far as like learning it. It's like just roll and write numbers. That's it. And then being able to use the different cards and, you know, so forth. I think it's great. But I feel like that this one, it's such an homage to Stonemaier games, and to be a gamer and to get all of those like references, like, oh, this is the Wingspan card, and this is the, you know,
that's true. It's very
side
niche,
things. So it's very gamey and stuff. But I mean, if they would have won the Spiel, I would not have complained. It's a wonderful game. One of my favorite roll and writes. So let's move on to mine, and maybe you can complain about mine
pick.
next.
Yeah, I would never. I'm saving that. I'm saving my complaints.
You're gonna hit me when I'm not ready for it. This one snuck up on me this year in 2022. I'd heard about this game. I saw it on Kickstarter, and it looked really pretty. And I thought, okay, yeah, this will be a cool game or whatever. But I didn't really think it as Spiel material until I actually played it. I played it, and instantly I was like, okay, this is a winner. This is so good. This is from 2022. This is what I thought should have won. The game Canvas. You are using these clear, if you've played Mystic Vale, these are the same type of things where you card craft, right? So it's these transparencies that you place on in these sleeves, and what you're doing is you're putting together your own canvas, this artistic, you know, rendition of, you know, a canvas. I mean, it's beautiful. One of the prettiest games you'll see out there. And I think it surprised me because when I heard about it, I was like, okay, the theme seems interesting. I just assumed it was going to be like Mystic Vale card crafting, where it can get a little complicated as far as like figuring out your combos and everything. No, this is literally set collection. All you're doing is collecting sets of different items and colors and so forth, and placing them and trying to meet certain win conditions. It is a gateway game through and through. And I got to be honest, I need to track down a copy of this, because I know my wife Michelle would love it, and I've showed her the game, and she's like, oh, do we have a copy of Canvas yet? I was like, oh, no, not yet. I need to get on that. But It's perfect for families. Again, that family weight game, gateway style game. The set collection's easy to figure out, and it's just fun. It's just seriously, it's just cool to be putting those
Yeah.
sleeves into the cards and seeing it develop. Because at the end of the game, let me go back to the video here. Towards the end of the game,
Yeah.
when you have your paintings, I mean, they literally look like paintings in there. As you can see, Richard's starting to develop his little canvas there. It's so much fun. I really enjoy this. And that's why it's my pick for 2022 Canvas.
Yeah, great pick. In terms of like games also that encompass, the whole package. The fact that you can hang it on your wall as a piece of art,
Yeah.
like it's designed. There's a little
Yeah.
hole in the back. I think just like that alone deserves some recognition.
It totally does. I mean, that's just so neat, and it's beautiful too. It doesn't say it's seriously just the picture, folks, or the painting. It's gorgeous. And just to back up a little bit, Chris, I agree. Cascadia, that was the winner this year. I mean, that to me blew everything out of the water. I think that's like one of the best games I've played, like just overall in the last 5 years, not just for 2022. It's a wonderful game.
It's really solid. Yeah.
And one more backing up, it just occurred to me. I think Richard talked about Micro Macro the year before. I also was sort of surprised by that pick for the Spiel because of how graphic it could be. And Richard touched upon that. That was a really interesting choice that they made. So just wanted to shout out that before you
gotta learn about serial killers at some point. You might as well do it as a family when you're 5. Easy.
Yeah. Let's hear what Richard's got on tap for 2022.
All right, folks, 2022. And the official Spiel Des Jahres winner this year again blew my mind and made no sense to me because it was Cascadia. And don't get me wrong, Cascadia is a phenomenal design, one of the best in years. The entwined tile drafting is just superb. Absolutely amazing stuff. But to me, it feels like a Kennerspiel. Every time you play, you've got 5 different unique scoring things, and some of them can be relatively complex. I mean, again, I guess this is a bit better because it's all open information. There's no hidden information, so players can kind of help each other through. What does this mean? And what does that mean? How am I supposed to score bears this game? Because it's so different than last game. So I guess, and it's certainly pretty and wonderful and charming and a beautiful game, but honestly, I always felt it was more Kenner weight. But hey, what do I know? I'm not a judge. But I will now judge Ruel, who called for Canvas, and to me, that makes no sense that one didn't win. I think it got the nomination, and it totally deserved the win. A really wonderful game that has a great gimmick of using transparent tiles to lay them on top of each other. Not tiles, cards. I think everybody knows Canvas, so I don't have to go into it too terribly much. I think that's a great potential one. And Chris, Rolling Realms. Okay. This is maybe in my top 3 roll and writes of all time, and I think it's great, but that's as a gamer geek. I would worry about Mandy Patinkin once more. Just by the time I figured out how these 3 cards work, okay, now we're going to throw them away, Mandy, and you got to start over, and you got to learn 3 completely different ones. Over the course of the game, you play 9 different games, all of them with different, rules. I mean, it's gone shown clever, taken, cubed, which I know is a separate game, and I worry that would be a bit much too. But regardless, what do I think? Well, I'm glad you asked. To me, I would have given it to Savannah Park from Kramer and Kiesling. Such an amazingly sweet, simple, elegant, and very, very compelling tile laying game. Although not tile laying, it's tile swapping. You start out the game with all your tiles already laid, and every turn you or one of your opponents is going to pick one tile that must be picked up from where it is and move to a different spot, and then flipped over so it's locked in place. And so what we're trying to do is get all of our Savannah critters together, all the giraffes together with watering holes, all the elephants together with watering holes, all the hippos together with watering holes, and it is, again, rules that you could teach somebody in, in less than 2 minutes, and everybody would know everything they need to play, and everybody can be up and running very quickly, making smart, informed decisions. And as the game goes on and the noose gets tighter and things get more and more exciting, it is phenomenal. I guess it's got a sequel that's just now coming out, or just recently came out, called Caldera Park. I haven't played that yet. The interesting thing is apparently it tries to ratchet down the tension. It's much more easygoing while at the same time introducing more rules. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm looking forward to trying it because I think Savannah Park is fantastic and one of the greatest gateway games to come out in the last 5 years, which is what this list is. Okay, back to you guys.
Yeah, Savannah Park It's really good. And Chris,
Goodbye,
I
my
just
lover.
I
Goodbye,
guess
my friend. You have been the one. You have been the one for me. Goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. Sorry. So are we back? Are we back? Okay, we're back. Sorry, we're back. We're back.
oh
Okay,
my
cool.
gosh.
Uh,
I feel like Richard and I have just Vulcan mind melded. We're just on the same we're on the same wavelength as a certain game was called a few
yeah,
minutes ago. But
sounds like a pretty good nominee if you ask
right?
me.
Yeah. But Savannah Park is an awesome choice.
Yeah.
I don't know why that game didn't take off. When you saw the video there, Richard and I played it live here on Twitch a couple of years or a year ago, and it was wonderful. And I love that game, and it even has a cool solo mode. But yeah, you know what? I do have to say this. He had mentioned Cascadia about being a little too complex. I'm going to disagree with Richard here because there's a family variant built into that game. You don't have to use those all different cards. They have an actual card that says, hey, when you're either a first time or family variant, use this. It's super simple to score. That's all you do.
Yeah.
And so Cascadia actually hits for not only the Spiel des Jahres, but also the Kennerspiel. So in my opinion. So Chris, I got your back on this one, man.
0 for 4.
Have you been able to play Savannah Park, Chris? Have you played it before?
I think why Savannah Park didn't get widely noticed is because I think everybody was just too busy playing Rolling Realms. I think that's probably why.
That could be it.
No, I haven't played it. I haven't played it, but it seems all right.
Yeah, there were a lot of people that played Roller Roads. That's right. Okay, let's move on to 2023. So these are the games that we would pick for the Spiel des Jahres. Chris, let's. Are we gonna go 0 for 5, my friend?
I think we're going 0 for 5. I feel fairly confident we're going 0 for 5, but I don't care. This is my list, and I like it. And I want to give these games some shout outs. I was torn. I was torn between two on this. I have a feeling my other one might be somebody else's pick, but so kind of wish I'd picked that. Might have gotten some support. But I'm gonna pick. This is a game that I saw because when I was thinking about this one, I was like, oh, I wonder what people are guessing about. The nominees for 2023 are out. We don't know what's going to win, but I think Dorf Romantic is going to win just because I think that's just the funniest name. So that's the one I want to win. But this one is like the definition of cute art style. This is the definition of like getting people in, bringing them in from external factors, and I think that's pretty huge and important nowadays to like creating that genre. And so I think it might be a little bit on the complexity level because there's a few moving parts going on. There's sort of 5 different types of actions you can do, and I can see how it might be Kennerspiel material, but for me it's like, I don't know. I want the Spiel to be, I've always wanted the Spiel to be a little bit more complex. I don't think it's more complex than Cascadia. You know what I mean? And so I was using kind of Cascadia as my bar and is my existing bar for that. Bringing into sort of non-gamers, and I've seen a lot of people interested in this one is Flamecraft.
Yeah.
Flamecraft is my pick. Flamecraft has gotten so much buzz, and I think rightfully so because it is cute and it draws people in, but it is also really quick. It's a lot quicker than I was expecting it to, and it's one of those games where you're just drowning in resources all the time. And so, sure, it's tough when you're like, oh, what should I do? I have choices in a game, and I don't like that. It's too complicated. But when you make any move, you're going to get a bunch of stuff. And so because of that, it isn't like punishing ever. It's just more about that efficiency, right? And if you want to play at like a really optimized level, there might be a lot of AP, but I think it's more one where it's just throw the dragons down, enjoy the cute art, drown in resources, and just keep that thing moving forward. I think it's a really good game. Quite enjoyed playing it, and it's one that I think is easy to grab people because of how well and beautifully designed it is from a graphic design.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that's a really important thing to remember is, as Spiel winners, we're trying to get more, families to the table. And a game like Flamecraft, I think, I agree with you, Chris, it does that in spades because of the graphic design alone. Yeah. I mean, you see that on the table, it's like, ooh, I want to play that. And then there's just something, I like the positive feedback of a game where like each turn, I'm getting a lot of stuff. This is cool, right? And like,
Yeah.
I want to do, okay, what can I do? Maybe, yeah, I would say it's no more complex than Cascadia, right? And, this is something where I'm getting a ton of stuff like, ooh, what can I do? You may not play it optimally the first, time or two or whatever,
Yeah.
but that's, hey, it's a wonderful game, and I think it's a great choice for a Spiel Des Jahres winner. So I'm sure Richard will disagree with you, but hey, we'll worry
I'm sure he
about that
will.
in a few
I
minutes.
feel
Yeah.
honestly, I hope so. If he agrees at this point, he's gonna lose all credibility, right? So just warning,
Yeah.
Video Richard, you on the spot.
Video Richard. Okay. 2023, this is my pick for it. I'm picking something that is super, super mainstream. Like, literally, you could go to any big box store and you'll find this game there, Chris. And for me, it's been a revelation. It is a very, popular company that's coming out with games called Exploding Kittens, if y'all have ever heard that. And they produce nothing but gateway games, literally super simple games, because they, like maybe 2 or 3 rules at most. But my choice for Spiel for 2023 is a game called Mantis. This is based on the comic The Oatmeal. If you read The Oatmeal, Matthew Inman's been doing it for years, and he proclaimed his love of the mantis shrimp many years ago through a series of funny comics, and this game is based on the mantis shrimp. They're super colorful, and what this game is, it's a push your luck set collection game. Michelle and I played it on my channel. This will play through here. Basically, you're looking at a deck of cards, and the deck of cards on the back will have 3 different colors. And for those of you like me who have colorblind issues, the colors are all coordinated with different icons. So of those 3 colors, you're going to name one of those. Like, you think you're going to say, okay, I think this is going to be a blue one. You flip over the card. If it's a blue, it goes to your score pile or to your tableau, and then you're going to score those. If you guess the correct color. If it is not, it goes to your opponent, and then your opponent collects it, and then it's their turn. It's a really simple back and forth. You can play, I think it's 2 to 4 players, and you just name colors and try to, collect those by, guessing what color it is. It's super simple, but what's fun is like you have a choice. There's the real decision this point. A decision point in this game is, am I going to try to collect my own, or there's an option where you can try to grab one of your opponent's colors by naming. It's like, you know what, I'm going to try to guess one of Michelle's here, so I think I'm going to do this, and I can steal that from Michelle. So this is not a game for the shy or the meek. I mean, it is a lot of take that, but for gateway games, it plays in 10-15 minutes. It's so fast. It never feels mean. And that's the thing. Like, I know Richard probably won't like this game because it is in your face and you're taking cards from each other, but it never feels mean. And it's so quick. It's super easy. It seriously has 2 or 3 rules to it. And it's a fun gateway game. And it's called Mantis, folks, by Exploding Kittens. That's my choice for the Spiel this year.
Nice. Cool
Okay.
pick. Yeah, I hadn't heard of it.
Yeah.
But that's their that's their weight, right? They want to make sure that their games are mass market.
It's mass market. Yeah.
So yeah.
All right, let's hear how Richard's going to disagree with us here, Chris. Coming up right now, Richard, take it away. Oh, I totally pressed the wrong button. Let's
Honestly,
retake that.
I like it better that way.
Yeah, I do too. Okay, Richard, take it away.
All right, here we are, 2023, this very year. Well, first of all, let me just say up front, I'm embarrassed. I have not played any of the nominees since we don't know who the winners are yet. What are they? Next Station London, Fun Facts, and Dorframatic, the board game. Now, of those 3, probably the one I personally want to play the most is Next Station London, because I love roll and writes and it looks like a really sharp design. But honestly, all things being equal, the one I'm hoping wins is Dorframatic, because the world needs more gateway co-op games. What is up? I do not understand why publishers don't look more often to the amazing smash success of Forbidden Island, a true gateway game that is a co-op. If you want games that get families together and make them want to come back and play more, how about games where they're not trying to beat each other but working together towards a common enemy? That's something I think most people don't understand board gaming offers. Everybody thinks, it's all about Sorry and Monopoly and us beating each other. other over the head. So this is less to the judges because, hey, I just talked about 5 and I didn't talk about a single co-op, did I? Because most of the time, co-ops are at the mid-weight and occasionally at the heavyweight, but very rarely low. You got kids co-op games, but gateways, I don't understand why. So good luck, Dorfromantic. You're my pick. Although, again, I have not played any of the 3. But what did the guys say? Ruel chose Mantis, a game I do not know because the description on Board Game Geek says that it's incredibly cutthroat. And again, that's fine, but I'm kind of hoping Dorfromantic wins because I want more gateways where people work together instead of trying to rip each other apart. And Chris, 5 for 5, man. I disagree one more time. Flamecraft is wonderful, and I think it should totally be a Kennerspiel nominee. But again, I think it would totally fail the Potemkin test because poor Mandy would just, fold in on himself as those shops get more and more complex with more and more dragons on them. I think it's great, but what do I think should have won? A game that probably very few people have heard of, and that's a real shame. It's Oneironauts. Which, here's the deal. Oh, wait! Hey! I came through. I came up with the cooperative one. I totally forgot. Yes, this is a co-op game, and it's one of the things that makes it so special. Dixit already won the Spiel Des Jahres years ago, but you know how I feel about that? 3-player minimum game, and really you need 4 or 5 for it to be good. Hey, how about for the couples? How about for the smaller families? Oneironauts is a miracle because it has that same core idea of looking at beautiful, surreal art and trying to find meaning and references in it, but it is cooperative instead of competitive, and it works well for 2. That is the rarest thing you are ever likely to see. This is a game I will never get rid of. I might as well get rid of Dixit, though, because I don't need it. And I don't need just one. And I don't need all these other, big group party games where, although, no, just one is a good co-op. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? Just one is a co-op. I take back everything bad I said about just one earlier. Sorry, I'm starting to lose it, folks. But Oneironauts, oh, man. I think this deserves more attention. I think it's, unfortunately, like my first entry, Arraial has a very, very difficult to spell and easy to forget name that probably makes it hard for people to find the information about this game. But if you like those kind of Dixit experiences, but you want something that'll play well with 2, or something where you are all working towards a common goal, might I suggest what I think should win the Spiel des Jahres for 2023, Oneironauts. Or Oneironauts. I don't even know how to pronounce a thing. But anyway, that's it, folks. Guys, let's wrap it up.
Yeah, Oneironauts. I'd never heard of that game.
Yeah. But Dixit, co-op Dixit, that seems fun. Like the pictures seem fun. This is how you be a supportive friend. Richard, I don't know if you can take notes, but that's how you do it. No, yeah, totally looks like fun. I know. Honestly, I was between Flamecraft and Acropolis. I think Acropolis should have.
Oh,
Acropolis was it was neck and neck, and Acropolis, is a bit simpler. Although probably still too complex. For Richard, I'll put Uno next time. Okay, I'll put Uno, Crazy 8s. And
little Go Fish, yeah. There
2.
you go.
Yeah.
So there you go, friends. Those are our choices for the Spiel des Jahres over the last 5 years. We'd love to hear what you think as well. So please hit those in the comments below. Let us know what you think should have won. And Chris, anything to before we wrap things up here? You want to have the final say as far as you went 0 for 5, my friend, with Richard.
I went 0 for 5 for Richard's opinion. I went 5 for 5 in the Chris George opinion.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think drop in the comments whose list of 5 you like the best, and I think we're gonna see a whole bunch of room and board thumbs up in the comments. This was really fun. It's cool looking at games in this sort of lens, and also thinking, because I find we often go so far towards the complexity, and you kind of do see it honestly reflected in Flamecraft for my picks, right?
Yeah.
And we forget kind of the stages that got us into gaming as well, and I think the Spiel is really trying to make sure that if their logo's on anything, it's like you can pick it up, you can apply it to families, and you can have a good time with it. And I think that's a cool aspect of it, and it's a cool mandate of it as well. So
agreed.
I like that, and I like the list, and I like you, Ruel, most of all.
Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. And you know what I like? I like Perk Coffee. And on that note, we're going to take on off out of here, folks. Thanks again for watching. Be sure to use the code RRT15 at checkout at perkcoffee.rahdo.com. And we'll see you next time here on the R&R Show. Bye. And hello, friends. Welcome back.
What's up, chat?
That was funny. Fun chat. Thanks for hanging out with us. Every single pick was hilarious, man. Like, wow, Richard. Oh, man. Hopefully everyone enjoyed that, folks. We are now in the post show of the R&R Show. We go until 2 p.m. Pacific here, 5 p.m. Eastern. So we got a couple more minutes. If you have any questions, we'd be happy to answer those. Let us know what your picks were, folks, for the years 2019 to 2023. And then we're going to bring this party on over. We're going to raid another channel. But yeah, Chris, you know, the Flamecraft reminds me, I need to get that back to the table. It was a wonderful game. Really enjoyed that. And I haven't played it in a while. I played it recently, but I need to bring it back to the table. It's just gorgeous. I love that game.
It's solid. Like it's one of those games where I was like, you know what? I think I could get it played out because of the sort of simple decision spaces that happens, but you're always drowning in resources, and finding that efficiency is really fun. And I just know so many people who would absolutely love it. You know what I mean? Like I see its potential, and I know why it's been doing so well, because it's really good. Yeah,
it really is. So true. Folks, Kabuki said it was called, the one Oneironauts was called Oneironauts.
Oneironauts.
Again, can we just rename that to something that, you know, I think it would stand out a little more? I mean, maybe it's it was okay with the spiel, I guess. I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, I didn't get in my bad dwarf romantic joke. I was going to say it reminds me of my my own Star Trek fan fiction that I wrote called Wharf Romantic. I meant to get that stupid joke in.
I don't know. Maybe we can splice that in. That was way too good not to be. But hey, folks, that's what you're here for the post show for, right? You see it here live. You get all the cool bits. That's great.
Thanks, Romantic, for the rim shot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Ooh, it's steamy. Klingon romances. Come on, let's go.
Oh my god. You know, speaking of Star Trek, I just started watching Picard season 3. Oh my goodness. Chef's kiss. I'm like 4 episodes in. It's so good. Wow. They do such a bang up job on that.
Yeah.
Let's see. We've got 8 minutes. Not a chef's kiss. A Jeff's kiss. Nice.
A Jeff's kiss.
Yeah.
Jeff Probst, Survivor. You want to talk more about Survivor?
Whatever you want. It's the post show. We're up for anything. Goblin's got a weird question. Who is the Kenner Spiel for? Non-gamers aren't paying attention to gaming awards. Oh. Yeah,
I think that's a very valid point, Goblin. Yeah. Like I kind of agree. Like because Catan, I would say Catan. I know it's like Catan, but I say Catan.
Yeah,
you know, Catan if you're nasty. That's why I say it. But Catan won the Spiel, right? Like that was a Spiel winner, wasn't it?
Yeah, like 20 years ago, right? Yeah,
like 20 years ago when it came out, right?
Yeah.
And I think like since then that. It's kind of emblematic of like the gateway experience and knowing, but I think you're right. Like I don't like the Kenner Spiel. I don't like the Kenner Spiel existing, honestly. Like I like that more games get to be recognized, but like for me, the Spiel feels like the event, and Kenner Spiel and Kinderspiel just feel a bit tacked on, right? Like to expand the categories. Like one of my shortlist picks for this was in 2020. I was thinking about saying the Crew. Like the Crew won the Kenner Spiel, and I don't think the Crew should. I think the Crew should have been a Spiel, right?
Yeah.
Like in terms of complexity. Like my parents love bridge and like trick. I guess bridge is a bit complicated, but like trick taking games, right? And so it is a weird distinction that I have trouble wrapping my head around. It just leads to like, I think if you're going Kenner Spiel, like if you're going complex, make it complex, you know?
Yeah.
Don't make it just like Gateway Plus.
Make
it like complex. But I guess like I think they just want to develop their brand. You know what I mean? I think they've established themselves and they're like, listen, eventually everybody is gonna know that we're the brand of the Gateway game.
Yeah.
Right. and
Yeah.
our symbol is on enough boxes that people recognize it, on enough boxes that they pick up on a whim and enjoy. Like, I
Yeah.
think that's probably the feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I won this. I like the thing that has all of these awards. I'm probably gonna like that next thing that
Right.
also has the award, right?
True.
Which is
Yeah.
cool. It's kind of cool and unique. Like an Oscar Best Picture. I guess
Yeah.
they're kind of all the same, but oftentimes I'll really enjoy a Best Picture and then I won't enjoy the other Best Picture. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
not
Totally.
like the Oscars or like movie awards have that
Mhm.
sort of pan-applicable feeling to them.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah, I think
guess.
it's yeah.
Yeah. I guess that I should mention that I'm part of the committee for the American Tabletop Awards, and
Oh, cool.
we approach things similar to the Spiel, but I feel like again, spoiler alert, I am on the committee, but I feel like our category is a little more defined. Like we have
Yeah.
early gamers, casual games, family or strategy games, and then complex games. So, the complex games, obviously that would be your heavier, Lacerdas and stuff. Strategy games sort of covers the gamut from anywhere from like Cascadia to Gateway Plus games. Wingspan, right. And then you have your, casual games, and then stuff like, what was the one? Like Point Salad would be a casual game. And then you have
Yeah.
early game categories, which could be anything from like Mantis all the way up to or like Mantis or any of like the Haba games, like Super
Yeah.
Rhino Hero or whatever.
Rhino Hero, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I think there's different approaches. Folks, please check out the American Tabletop Awards, and support us as well if you like the Spiel. But yeah.
I mean, Sailnit in the comments says committee rule number 1: don't pick any games Chris likes. And I think it's a good rule.
Apparently it is, especially if Richard's involved. So I don't know, real quick, Chris, anything on your list, like any ones that you'd like to mention that weren't talked about? Like I got to shout out one game that we had actually talked about during the was it the pre-show, was Boop. I thought Boop would have been could have made my list for this year, 2023. Very
Boop
simple,
was short list.
Yeah, abstract yet super cute game.
Yeah, Letter Jam was on my list. Horrified I was flirting with the idea of Horrified.
I was too. Yeah, totally. I think that's a perfect family weight game, and really cool theme.
Because like Richard was saying, he wished there was a Forbidden Island, like more Forbidden Island. Like I feel Horrified is of the same weight as Forbidden Island.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's very simple. It gets you used to the moving around, but it's like it's really simple. So like that's why I was contemplating that one.
Totally agree.
Project L, I would have picked if you weren't picking it, honestly.
Yeah.
I think.
from that year, 2021, Project L, my second one was actually Abandon All Artichokes, which I think is a wonderful, very super lightweight game that I think could have easily won the Spiel.
Nice. Yeah, I had I talk about Night of the Ninja a lot. So I was thinking about that. I was thinking about Bad Company too, just because of how it takes the basis of Machikoro, which was a previous winner, and expands upon it. I think makes it better.
Yeah.
So that's why I was because it did win already, basically. So with the same sort of standard of level, and then also Kites, which I was thinking about. I just feel like that kind of hits that group just one style. Those were and Boop was on my short list too.
Yeah, totally agree with you. Kites, actually just played that on Sunday with friends at we went and had coffee or brunch, and Kites came out, and that was actually on my list as well for 2023.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a comment here. Yeah, the comment thing's not working. I want to pop this up on screen, but Selinet says, surprise Kristen, give an honorable mention to Night Cage.
Yeah, Night Cage has been featured. I don't want to. It's gotten so many awards. I've really given it. I gave it away to someone else so that everyone else could experience its joy. Yeah.
We'll always it'll always be in your heart, Chris. I know that.
Yeah, it'll always definitely be in my mind. It lives rent free in my head. I'll say that.
Totally.
That's for sure.
Richard's joined us through chat, folks. He says Kites is great, but too easy to make a family erupt in argument. I think, yeah, it's one of those games that it can be pretty stressful. It's a real time game, folks, so maybe that's not for everyone, but I sure as heck like it. I think it's a wonderful game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's pretty fun.
Yeah, let's Chris, I'll give you the final word, and then we are going to raid. Folks, stick around for the raid. You get extra points, channel points that you can spend here on the channel. But also, we're going to raid Cephalofair, Isaac Childress. Folks, there's a Gloomhaven RPG coming out real soon.
Oof.
And, full disclosure, I'm working for Cephalofair during the campaign. But
Cool.
Isaac's live right now playing some games. So we're going to raid him, show him some love. But, Chris, I'm going to give you the final word as I get ready for the raid here.
Oh, the final word is this was a fun list.
Yes.
Yeah, my final word's the same as the final words when we finish the YouTube recording. I really enjoyed the list. I think that's super cool. Yeah, I shout out to Acropolis. I want to shout out to Acropolis as well, and shout out to Richard for all of his love and kindness. Honestly, that's why we're the nicest people in board gaming on this channel. You got us all here. No, that was really fun. So thanks everybody for hanging out. Chat, really love hanging out with you all. So appreciate it.
Awesome. Okay, folks, stick around for the raid. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Richard, and thank you all for watching. Raid. It's going to start in 10 seconds. You get extra points, so stick around and say hi to Isaac for all of us here, Chris, Richard, and myself, and have fun, everybody. Take care. Bye now.